The central North Island, home to some of New Zealand's spectacular geothermal spots, and all set in the backdrop of the breathtaking Great Lake Taupo, a tourism capital in this country for sure. It's the gateway to the mountains of the Central Plateau, but a spot for all seasons. Thousands flock here on holiday. Taupo, a real treasure in the crown, and a very special place. And from today, it's multi-purpose stadium of Owen Delaney Park. This is the host of a very special tournament in the New Zealand rugby calendar. Of course, Owen Delaney Park in Taupo creating a little bit of history today. It hosts the inaugural Jock Hobbs Memorial National Under-19 tournament. It's well known that some of New Zealand rugby's finest players have emerged from provincial age grade competition. And today we get a fresh batch with Heartland taking on Taupo in the match here live on Sky. The crowd building up in chilly conditions, it's fair to say. A little bit of breeze around. And Owen Delaney Park and its surrounding areas, the main stadium hosting the matches. But let's have a look at the way this tournament is structured. The tournament split in two. The Premiership, they are the top 8 seeds from qualifying matches around the country. And at stake in this one, the Graham Murray Cup. Canterbury, Auckland, all the big names of New Zealand provincial rugby represented in the Premiership section of this tournament. In the Championship, this is the Michael Jones Cup at stake. And as you can see, Tasman, Auckland B, the second of the two Auckland sides, and Manawatu and Hawke's Bay, and Heartland, the Heartland side. And the crowd slowly building up, as I say, in cool conditions. You can see lots of jackets. And there is a familiar face of New Zealand rugby. He has a son playing in the Heartland, in the Tasman side. Let's have a look though at the Heartland 15. All 12 unions of the Heartland Championship represented here. And the flanker, Setariki Korotamana, and the skipper is the skipper and fullback Josh Turner. This side has at least a couple of regular starters in the Heartland Championship. Trent Reti and Bryce Shearer form the inside back combination. Reti's Horowhenua Kapara teammate Jesse Hall is at hooker. Of course, the front row will be important this afternoon. Joining me in commentary, Willie Lose. And Willie Lose, talk us through this Tasman side.
Yeah, very good afternoon. So I'm really looking forward to this tournament. Firstly, the inaugural Jock Hobbs Memorial. Over 400 young men, along with their families, have made the distance and the travel to be here. Not great conditions, and we'll get that from Cal Tanana a little bit later on. But this is a very good Tasman side that you can see there. Hodgson, Siaki and McLaughlin make up a very, very formidable front row. But have a look at the loose forward trio. To Ua, Blackadder and Coman. Yes, Tim Coman is the younger brother of Michael, who of course led Hawke's Bay to some memorable times, who's now in Edinburgh. And also their captain is Fletcher Matthews in jersey 13, and the coach is Chris Binns.
The wind blowing. Let's go downstairs and check in with the weather conditions. Good afternoon, Cal Tanana.
Good afternoon, Tom and Willie and everyone watching at home. Yeah, really looking forward to this one. It was quite nice when we got here earlier on, about midday, but since then it has gotten, well, the breeze has really come up, and easterly it will be, and it won't be favouring any team in particular. It's coming directly at our cameras, as we'll see it as we watch the game. But the pitch itself is in outstanding conditions, and hopefully the rain stays off for these young lads who want to perform, I'm sure.
The Heartland under-19 side against the under-19 side from Tasman. And out they come onto Owen Delaney Park in Taupo. Big opportunity for all of these young men involved here. Underfoot conditions pretty good as well. And while there's no rain at the moment, Willie will be hoping for some running rugby here this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. And these young men, it's a wonderful initiative from the New Zealand Rugby Union, and also the fact that King Country Rugby got on board with the venue. And this obviously, after the losses the New Zealand under-20s have experienced in the last 2 Junior World Championships, and so perfect setting, and they've got nothing to lose, these young men.
The Heartland side, of course, the referee, an important figure in any rugby match, Daniel O'Connor, out of the county's Manukau Rugby Union, assisted by Damien, by the way, and Jason Barnfield. And it will be the Heartland side, playing from left to right as we look at it.
Ready, blue. Ready, black.
And it's Bryce Shearer with ball in hand, and we're underway in Taupo. And a favourable bounce for the Heartland side. Ball lost forward, advantage being played for
Stay here.
Heartland. They set on the 22, an opportunity. Shearer gets another touch, taken in heavy contact. Reti is Koro Tamani.
Advantage over.
See a lot of him today, the mid-Canterbury player. Comes again for Reti, and an early touch for Hall. They're making a lot of ground here, Heartland, but this time they switch it. Shearer leaves the ball behind, coming through and trying to collect the ball is Tasman.
Advantage over.
Neil with a box kick for Tasman. Comes down to Turner. He's the captain of the Heartland team. Just shy of halfway, Josh Turner. Long opening sequence. This time Reti chips over the top. Ball bouncing around. Can't collect it. Is Koro Utamana. Chance for Tasman. And we'll go back.
Yeah, scrappy start from both teams, 7 phases, and there's a face. Peleforti, Siaki.
For him here, some of these names, as we've already said, that people will know, but obviously there's going to be a lot of players that a lot of people don't know. It's an opportunity for them to, on the big stage, perform with a lot of coaches that have already seen. The Crusaders coach here watching that well. Who knows what might happen after that.
Now, Bryce Shearer from pretty much straight in front, and it's the Heartland side that take the early lead. The penalty from their first 5, Bryce Shearer. And a positive start for the young men representing the Heartland provinces. Here's the restart from New Stub. Juggling it at the back and trying to get round was the big number 8 for Heartland. That's Winter. Setariki Korotamana has had a couple of touches already, has the open side flanker. Shearer, that favoured left boot, partially charged, and coming forward to collect it is Schreiber, that's Steen Schreiber. Offloads to Ua for Tasman. And a chance for Tasman to get their hands on the ball. They haven't had too much ball in the first 4 minutes. New Stub. Zrarimu Karu. Again, the defence is up to the challenge. And they may turn the ball over. They have turned the ball over here, have Heartland. In there is Judd with the offload down the left. Tasman have done a good job of keeping him up, but have got it to ground, have Heartland. It's turned over again, so here's Neil. Chips it over the top, looking for some space. Going back there is Turner for Heartland. And it's just a dance around the coming Schreiber. Here's Retu. Getting the offload through and flying at pace was Williamson, but he left the ball behind.
Nothing better than seeing a tight head prop in full motion there. You saw Shearer go over and just give him a bit of a hug. I think he had his name written in tomorrow's paper before he actually caught the ball. And he was all way. Great turnover too by Kura Yambaki earlier on. Here he goes, he's off.
Nice line though, ran by the big man. Outside in, hit it nicely, good timing. Just needed to remember to catch the ball first.
Bind. 6.
So Tasman with the scrum. Comes the New Stub. Floats for pass, a lovely pass, and going on the outside is the centre through. Well, that's Matthews. Can he draw and pass? He finds it off his fullback. Into the corner goes Schreiber. And the try is scored by Steen Schreiber for Tasman.
Copybook. That is brilliant. That's straight out of the coach's manual. And you would have loved that, Carlton, up the lake drift. And he got on the outside of Kuru Yambaki, and then he just ran his fullback in beautifully.
Yeah, we used to call it an inside drifter. You'll see the centre come in and they miss him on the outside. Second 5 bounces out, huge hole. It's a 3-on-1. The winger drifts out, and then from here it's a nice delivery. Good timing. Well set move, well rehearsed, and well scored.
Fletcher Matthews comes into this game with a pretty big reputation. Wider Tasman ITM squad member, and showed all his class there, didn't he? And Steen Schreiber, it's like a gift from the rugby gods when you get a pass that close to the line. And Tasman, who haven't really had the ball, score a wonderful try And here's Andrew Newstub to add the extras. Strikes it well to Newstub, but it just drifts to the left. And so the try remains unconverted, but Steen Schreiber for Tasman. And it is.
Look at this. Once Matthews got it, and he was on the outside of his opposite, Kuru Yambaki.
Imposes himself. Taken by Winter for the Heartland team. Schreiber gets up there and makes the tackle. It's the prop forward Judd for Heartland. Back on the inside is the flanker Foden. Here's Retu. Just over the 10-metre line, pops the little pass out to Hall. Tasman doing a good job of counter-rucking here, trying to go through the middle, but illegally. And the Heartland team get the penalty.
Made the initial tackle, but now they've tapped and gone, have Heartland.
Here's Retu, not mucking around the Heartland team. Here to play. Picked up and driving is Tetariki Korotamana. We're inside the 22-metre line. Heartland, about 15 from the line. Another pick and drive. This time it's Hall. On hands and knees. Retu. Coming from distance is Williamson again. Showing himself to be an eager runner. Here's Retu. Comes to Turner. Just slips in the tackle of Stevens. Coming through Tasman. They've got the turnover. Fighting to get the ball to the ground is Stevens. Comes back for Neil. He thought about it, bouncing around. And they're offside, so the relieving penalty for Tasman. It's taken quickly. And away goes Schreiber. Tasman again, driving into the tackle. That time was Siaki. It's well met by a wall of black defender, and it's spilled out for Heartland. Here's Foden. Just over the 22-metre line. Metu. Shearer bouncing around. Here's the centre. Yabaki. Reti. Hall, pick and drive from Heartland. Winter tries to make another metre, but he's held up. It's well held up. The big lock forward. Libezi. And it's a turnover for Tasman. Great defence.
Yeah, Blackadder, Ethan Blackadder take a bow. You see him getting up there in the number 7 jersey, just wrapped his body around the ball rather. And there's a couple of players that have Tasman earlier on. And that man there, Ethan Blackadder from the Nelson College, former Nelson College product, and there's father looking on. Good play, KC, and also the initial turnover from Adam Williamson, the big tight head prop with a lovely beard for Heartland team.
Yeah, I like the way Heartland, when they're going up the middle of the park and they connect with each other, they look very dangerous, but on that occasion, getting isolated. And as you said, Willie, great open side flanker work from Blackadder.
So Tasman win the scrum. They bring in Stevens off the left wing. Over the 22-metre line he goes. It comes back for Neil. Pass is not a good one. It's weird.
Inside.
Schreiber drills it up the touchline. Here's Turner, his opposite. Josh Turner thought about kicking. It's a good run from Kuru Yakabaki. Gets the pass back into his Fijian, fellow Fijian. It's Korotamana. Stick to the left and throws the wide pass to Anderson, and the ball was forward, and it breaks down for Heartland. Showing lots of endeavour to keep the ball in hand, aren't they, Willie? Both sides.
Yeah, but look at some of the stats that are coming up there. 72% Heartland dominating, and they're behind by 2 on the scoreboard. Possession as well. And these young men representing their provinces, obviously coming from through the club system. It's also a good chance too, Tom, to talk about the development of the referees as well, because this tournament is all about development. And KT, you'd know it too well, as we've seen it through the 7 circuit, that this is the breeding ground, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely, Willie. And I think the thing that stands out for me is the attitude of these kids, that no matter where they end up on the field, if they see an opportunity, they have a go and play what's in front of them. That's the exciting thing for mine.
So Neil, scrum, bringing in Raru Mukaru, balls ripped free. And out it comes to Iganui. He's met in a good tackle by Newstub, staying close to that touchline. Bouncing around, but it's managed. They've kept it in play well here, Heartland. Winter, he gets the offload, ball lost forward. Coming through is Weir to collect for Tasman. Again, competition on the ground. Neil's kick is charged.
Kuru Yambaki's doing a good job, the midfielder for Heartlands. Young referees that we're talking about coming through, they get their opportunity. They'll learn valuable lessons at this level.
Come back to the scrum, it's a knock on.
And I'm sure we'll be seeing, like the players, these referees officiating at the higher level. And there he is, Kuru Yambaki, ripping it off. And then he's got the presence of mind to retrieve it, stay in play. So for me, Kuru Yambaki and also Koroi Tamana in jersey number 7 for Heartland. They've been very effective in the opening 15 minutes of this game.
Don't forget the tight
Williamson,
end prop. Look at the big man on this near side.
I'm watching this. If he's not my Skynet, he'll definitely be watching this, because these are the players of the future, the young Tasman guys, and a lovely feature coming up between the two matches today. Hope you can stay with us. You won't be disappointed.
So here's Newstub again. It's good contact with the boot there, and it takes play just over halfway.
We just get the feeling here, sideline, Tom, that this Tasman team has sort of settled down now after the initial barrage from the Heartland side, getting into their work and looking a lot more settled.
So line out is thrown in by Hall, but free kick for Heartland. And here goes Kuro Tamana. Over halfway he goes. Shearer, ball bouncing around at the feet of Costello, and he can't collect it.
And equally too, KT is suggesting that Tasman have settled down. Unfortunately for Heartland, they're still just forcing the issue and trying a little bit too much in my mind. He's good as Josh Costello, he'll be disappointed with that, but a lot of individualism as well. Koroi Tamana is going forward, so is Kuru Yambaki. They're not really, there's no real pattern, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and it's always hard when you've got guys from all over the place coming together at a short space of time, whereas you have a team who's been together in the same area, can train together for probably a lot longer. They had a nice set-piece move earlier on for us to try. Let's see what Tasman can cook up here.
Neil, Newstub. This time it's Rarumu Karu from distance. Over halfway he goes, the second 5 for Tasman. Sticking left is Fletcher Matthews. Bounces off that left foot, just shy of the 10-metre line. Getting involved this time and driven back in the tackle is Libesi. And he's lost the ball forward. Great defence from Heartland.
Oh, Josh Costello, take a bow, young man. He obviously enjoys the physical contact and the defensive work. He's supposed to be out in the backs looking after backs. And he goes up to one of the biggest men in the field, picks him up and says, have a bit of that. Welcome to Owen Delaney Park.
Shearer, Costello, they've shown a couple of touches. But again, as mentioned, it's a little bit of one-off stuff at the moment, and an opportunity here for them. Scrum just side of their own, in their own half.
Come on, Steve. We have the same mark back here.
Stop Porky. Still Porky.
Hold that weight until the ball's in, gentlemen.
Yeah, it's like a track as well.
The Tasman front row, McLaughlin, Siaki and Hodson for Tasman. Scrums have been pretty even in the first 24 minutes here. And another pretty even comes off the back of Winter.
Obviously on Wednesday, but you want to be playing for the major prizes and the Michael Jones trophy that's up for grab in this division. And so this is sudden death. This is pressure time. And great response from Heartland.
Been under the pump really in the last, for most of this half, and with their nose in front, Heartland. Here's the restart from Newstub. It's a long one. It goes through the hands of Foden and into touch, and so Tasman swing on to attack. fortuitous, but you take them where they come.
We've got to remember, too, lads, these halves are only 35 minutes. So Tasman here in good position, want to get on with it.
Siaki with the line-out throw. Finds his number. Off the top ball for Tasman. Ranumu Karu. Short pass to Fletcher Matthews. Just shy of 22. Tasman. New stub. Trying to bounce around and gets the pass. He does well, brilliantly to Stevens. Pu'oi Stevens for Tasman. Presented for Neil. New stub. Good tackle coming through. Costello again for Heartland. Matthews, Fletcher Matthews to the line. Oh, wonderful try from Fletcher Matthews. Tasman, what a response, Willie Losay.
Oh, what a captain. That's just what the doctor ordered before the 35-minute mark, and you just put the ball in the hands of a quality centre, and he's going to do the magic himself. He had no right to score that try. That's the first thing. He had 5 players in front of him, and he kept it in 2 hands. That's why the defence were wandering, and then once he backed himself, he just went through Turner like he didn't exist. Wonderful try, Carlton, on it.
Yeah, went into first receiver. Look at the low numbers, though. There's 8, there's number 1, there's 9 not getting across, and he puts it down just, does Fletcher Turner. You can see they just wanted to speed up the game, Willie, from that set-piece line out. They did so, and they caught the Heartland team just sleeping. As you said, got the opportunity from a fortuitous kickoff. And Heartland, well, they pay the price. Tasman good enough to get the 5-pointer.
So Andrew Newstub to extend the advantage and chips it up to the posters. Andrew Newstub and Tasman, after conceding the try just minutes ago, strike back through that man, Fletcher Matthews. The conversion from Newstub, 15 points to 10, Tasman in front.
Well, it's a try-fest here at Owen Delaney. His mum represented the country at the World Champs in cycling, so he comes from a pretty good stock. The New Zealand Barbars and Sevens representative.
So the restart. Bringing it back is to Ua for Tasman, the big number 8. Neil, Newstub. Under a little bit of pressure was Newstub. And it falls to Shearer, his opposite. Bryce Shearer gets the offload to Turner, trying to bounce around and coming through the middle. And the penalty against the Heartland side. And a relieving penalty, so to speak, for Tasman.
Yeah, Kura Yambaki was actually looking up as opposed to where the ball was coming from. And Josh Turner popped a lovely little ball, but it got lost forward. And Koroi Tamana was in an offside position ahead of where the ball was, picked it up. And that's why Tasman get a chance to clear it outside of their own half.
Up the touchline goes Newstub, and he hasn't found touch. That ball looked to be heading safely to it, but going back is Reti.
Inside.
Turner gets rip, and fortunately he finds the safety of the touchline, but in the end not really the result Tasman were after, but they will get the line out 11 metres inside the Heartland team's half.
Black, move.
Tasman, they had a win over Southland not so long ago, a good win, and there was talk it had given them a lot of confidence, and they're playing like it at the moment, Tasman.
That's too far gone.
And unfortunately missed the unforced error at the line out, and so the scrum to Heartland.
Scrum here.
$15 points to 10. 5 minutes out from half-time. 35-minute halves here. Heartland will be looking to bounce back again if they can before the turn. In this intriguing championship match of the Jock Hobbs Memorial Under-19 tournament. Penalty, Heartland, quickly taken by Winter. And off goes the number 8. Runs into Blackadder. Just over halfway. Hang away, there is Blackadder again. Picked up though and moved on by Judd, the prop.
No advantage, knock on.
We'll go back for the knock on.
Come in, see a pass. That one there, the one coming in. I don't want to do that, okay?
Well, 4 minutes before Oranges, and
I wasn't happy with
Heartland in a very good position. Ready to launch something. Josh Turner is their danger man. They've got to try and get the ball into his hands as often as they can, the fullback for Heartland. He's the captain.
Interesting one here, lads. We've got a substitution already. It's only, as you said, Willie, moments before the half, Kahu was on a jersey 18 replacing McLaughlin, who's been pretty good. Interesting one.
James Brett coming on to replace one of our favourite props, Adam Williamson. That's
Crouch!
a big move.
Bind! Set!
So they'll reset. Front rows sorted out, always the way, isn't it, when you get a new player on? James Brett, jersey 18 on the park. There he is. Had a couple of storming runs, didn't he, Williamson, Willie?
Well, he's had an honest day at the office. He's earned his power rate.
Let's go. Gentlemen, this shouldn't be an argument. Here's your mark. Take it.
Traditional setup here by the Heartland team, Willie, in their backs.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Okay, come on.
Interesting, the field markings, the hashtag there, JH
Here.
under 19 there. So if you're watching on TV and you want to use social media, I'm sure the young ones that are playing and that get to tape this and watch it later, and I'd love to get your messages. So feel free to join us on Twitter.
Crouch!
I know Tom Bartlett's only got 5 followers, so you might want to give your handle across, Tom, Seth.
Oh, I'll do that, Willie. Thanks for the tip. So here's the scrum. It's a good Tasman scrum, and Winter to Reti. One to Reti, close to the touchline. Over the top was a winger, and he earns the penalty. Great work there from Tapui Stevens, Kaltanana, right in front of you. Brilliant job for the winger.
Yeah, Tapu Oho, very big for a number 11, very abrasive too. So Terete, who's been very good around the ruck area too, been very strong, unlike Justin Marshall, but on that occasion went a bit too far. Support players a step too slow. Stevens good enough.
Look at this. Have a look at the big frame come in. It's a picture right now there. Straight over the top, all rights to the ball. To Pu'oho Stevens. I heard Justin Marshall give it the Wumfa today during the test match. Wumfa.
1, 6, 8.
It's copying your styles, Willie.
So line out taken and going back is Trent Reti. Got some good support there from his forwards, and Hikanui goes into play halfback, comes back for Shearer, ball charge, bouncing around and collected by Costello. No, that's Turner, the captain, getting in there to save the day for Heartland. Here's Shearer. This time it's clean. At the touchline it goes, and over the head of Stevens it goes. And the pressure ease, but good pressure built there by Tasman. And there's the breeze. You can see that breeze in the showing you it's behind the backs of Tasman at the moment. It's blustering around a little bit, so
1, 6, 8.
here's Tasman off the top of the line out. Newstup has to do well, does well, does Andrew Newstup, brings it down to from the sky, now battling to get to ground, being held up. And turnover ball. And the referee says that's enough. And so we go to the break. 2 tries scored by Tasman. Schreiber and Matthews. Fletcher Matthews, a brilliant individual effort. But the first one wasn't bad either. Newstup, a penalty and a conversion, giving them 15. And Heartland, Reti's try converted by Shearer and a penalty from Shearer. In half-time at Owen Delaney Park in Taupo. And it is Tasman who lead Heartland 15 points to 10.
And that's obviously a concern, and that's what they'll need to work on for the next 35 minutes.
So, as you can see,
Well, Grant, obviously you've got players from all over the country. How did you actually pick them?
They were picked during the season by the New Zealand secondary school selectors, and also by Matt Sexton, Dave Perrin, and a group of high-performance people through New Zealand Rugby. And the team was selected 10 days ago. We got together yesterday at lunchtime, and we've had a couple of runs, and we had a run this morning, and that's been our preparation.
For you as a coach there, how do you prepare for something like this?
We've just got to make sure that we've planned everything really well and that we give real clarity to the boys, because the last thing we wanted to do was, clutter them and tire them. But these kids are used to it. They come from the rural areas, they're tough, they're used to this adversity, and a great bunch of boys to be a part of.
I was going to say that first 35 minutes, they really stood up, scored a nice try too, and by no means out of this match. Quarter final time, everything's on the line.
Yeah, it is, and we've just said at half-time, we've just got to keep attacking. We had some penalties there and some free kicks that we tapped and ran, and we won't stop it in the second half. We'll just keep going.
I suppose the thing for you as a coach, man, there's some exciting young kids in this team, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, and I don't want to name any of them because all 15 out there are going superb, but we've just got to keep that character.
All right, good luck for the second half.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. Cheers. Thank you.
so Grant Keenan, he'd be a pretty happy man at this stage.
Oh, look, he just makes too much sense to be a coach. That's the problem. Because everything that he said there is just what you want. These are young men. You don't want to poison them with too many theories and what should be done and shouldn't be done. It's about going out there. It's about expressing yourself. And who knows where that may lead. I love the fact that he said they're used to adversity and they're from the rural grounds. Oh, boy. They'll probably be back on the farm, on mum and dad's farm on tomorrow night, or, sorry, after the week.
Yeah, it takes you back in a week. We've heard a bit from Colin Meads, of course, about what he compared to Richie McCaw. This is the stories. These guys they are living that kind of experience, aren't they? They're out here competing, but most of them will have a job to go to at some stage, or some study. And as we welcome back the teams for the second half, and as you say, effectively, well, you're like a quarter-finalist. If you want to get your hands on that Michael Jones Cup, you've got to win today.
Well, the winner will play Southland, I understand, on Wednesday.
Correct.
And so that's the reward. Mentioned earlier too, Tasman coach of the ITM Cup, Kieran Keane. He'll be watching. I know you will be. He's an old mate of mine.
Ready, Black?
That breeze, you can see, blowing. And we're underway in the second half of this championship match at the Jock Hobbs Memorial National Under-19 Tournament. The ball's lost forward by Heartland. And a chance for Tasman. And there to play scrum half was Hodson. Raru Mukaru, who'll be looking for some more opportunities. The second 5'8" this half.
Barnage over.
Hodson at halfback again. Here's New Stub trying to bounce his way out of the tackle. Neil. Now he's at first 5 as Hodson. Halfback, first 5. He's everywhere. And the penalty.
Number 3 in the side.
Fortunately, McLaughlin, the man penalised. But how about Kendall Hodson in that sequence, Willie Losay? Halfback, first 5, he was giving them all a go.
He's an all-rounder. He is at a cricket venue, so he thought he was the all-rounder, the perfect all-rounder here at Owen Delaney Park. Look at that, good clearance as well. Tell you what, KT, Grant Keenan was saying these guys all arrived just together yesterday. I know that you've been involved in a few sides like that. I remember playing Auckland Māori where we basically assembled Auckland Māoris. We just arrived at the park and then got a jersey and then told where we were playing. So these young boys have done very well in 24 hours.
Oh, done outstanding, and by no means have they been overawed either, have they? Only find themselves 5 points down in Tasman territory, unfortunately. A missed throw there. That's great words by the coach, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. And into that strong breeze, what you want to do is actually just keep it short. They're young men, they're still learning, and so we won't be too critical about them. But that's too far into a very strong breeze. You want to keep it as close to the line out as you can. That's the number 2 throw.
Fine. 6.
So Neil to feed the Tasman scrum. Comes back for New Stub. And it's drifting into touch, and he's kicked it out on the full as the Tasman first 5. You could probably hear in the background that grunt of frustration from Andrew Newstub. And it presents a chance for Heartland here.
Let's see if they've adjusted here. Straight up at 2.
Backwards off black.
And it's messy and it spills out the back, and it's come though for Shearer. It's the South Canterbury player Bryce Shearer, the first 5 for Heartland. And half biggest Koroi Tamana. Centre field, back on the inside comes Brett, a replacement, prop forward, James Brett.
Lie on.
And the ball scrapped free and, well, brilliantly done by Cody Weir for Tasman.
Leave it now,
And
Sibu.
that wind is picking up, isn't it? Down there, you can hear that on our sound effects. Comes back for Newstub, and he's lost the ball forward.
Well, a net gain here for Heartland, and that breeze is playing, well, it's playing havoc with the skill level. And so what they need to do here is shorten things up. So he's got to get closer now, KT, in my view. That's a long pass for a halfback in this breeze, and perhaps the number 10 should come a little bit closer to make it easier.
Yeah, all the players need to shuffle in quite substantially, because I can tell you the wind has picked up something chronic.
How's that umbrella down there?
Holding on, just. How's your heater up there?
2 bars on.
What a great attacking opportunity here, though. 22 metres out, you see there.
Yeah, didn't get it.
The setup of this Heartland side. A lot of space to this blind side here and this near side. We're able to get parity here well.
Josh Turner is the go-to guy here. They've had big raps on him. The man from the Te Araha Cobras.
Bind. 6.
They told me he won the club competition by himself. I thought it was a bit over-exaggerated.
Tight head for Tasman. A bit of a gift. And here is his opposite, Schreiber. Over halfway goes. Turner comes forward, collects on the 10-metre line. He tries to free the right winger, Hekanui, but the ball's lost forward. Net gain big time to Tasman after the mistake from the winger.
Oh, there was some space down that right-hand flank as well. Would have liked to have seen him with a little bit of territory to get those legs pumping. He just snatched it, and unfortunately the wind grabbed it, and he just snatched it at the last minute, and he lost control.
Yeah, it's a pretty average pass from the centre, to be fair. Here it is. Right, Willie, though, he hasn't been in the game, has he, at all? Hekanui, so probably a bit eager.
Bind. 6.
So Tasman with the scrum right on halfway. The back is to Ua. Thought about throwing it, then held on to the ball to the number 8. Over the ball was the flanker for Heartland, but the ball is back and still in the hands of Tasman. It's messy coming through, collected finally by Schreiber. Neil tries to kick, ball charged down and drifts into touch. And fortunately, probably for Mitchell Neil, that it did.
Well, he's taped the locks down. They'll be blowing all over the place. That breeze is so strong. Charged down by Costello, and now let's see how Siaki approaches this. He's got one of the biggest targets in the line out, 2 metres tall, Sam Lebedzit.
Reaching high and over the top it goes, but it's taken down by Tu'ua and turned over. So here's Heartland. Koroi Tamana spinning out of tackles. Reti. Shearer. Costello. Driving over the advantage line goes Josh Costello. They stick to the right with Shearer. Driving back in the tackle. Karu and Fletcher for Tasman. Turner's done brilliantly well to hold on to it. Reti, charge down, but back into the hands of the Heartland side it goes. They're still in position just inside the 22-metre line, Heartland. Winter wrapped up with Blackadder and others. Tasman, they'll do well to get this to ground. Heartland, Blackadder and Newstub. Still moving, so they've let it go, the referee, but turnover. Brilliantly done by Ethan Blackadder and others.
Yeah, too high. That was the problem. He got a standing start, got the ball from a standing start, did Cunningham. And once he got into contact, Blackadder, New Stub and others just came running in.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Wrapped him round, wrapped him up tight. Good support to Blackadder. Still under pressure here, Tasman. Spent a lot of the first 7.5 minutes inside their own half. That breeze has picked up significantly, as you can see by the shot.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go.
15 points to 10. That was the half-time score. 2 tries to 1. Tasman.
Crouch.
And waiting in a semi-final is Southland. 27-19 winners over Counties Manukau earlier today. Penalty, Tasman.
Binding on 18. Binding on 18.
That'll be welcome at this stage, having spent a lot of time on defence, Willie, in the last few minutes.
Yeah, they'll be delighted to get some downtime with the tight 5 from Tasman. James Brett walks back, mumbling. But the bind there wasn't correct, and so no points added in the second half. 10 gone. And Heartland still very much in control. Just not capitalising on their opportunities when they do get inside the Tasman half.
Siaki, some big targets, Blackadder, Liebesy. Off the top it comes. Finally, the pass is made to Matthews from New Stub. Fletcher Matthews, look at the leg drive of the young man. Over the 10-metre line. They stick left. New Stub. It's the pass out. Popped up. Out on the left is the flanker. Driving him into touch, trying to drive him. The ball spills. And turnover for Heartland. They're inside their own half. Betty decides to turn them around. Going back after that is Stevens. Also Fletcher. Straight away, put the afterburners on. Wants to have a bit of a run. There's a lot of black jerseys there, though. Ball's charged down. It's a bit 50-50. It's bouncing around on the line. Ball is knocked forward. Pretty dangerous stuff there from Tasman.
Well, the kick from Reti was pinpoint accurate, and using the wind brilliantly by just chipping it over the top there and then asking some questions. Tinnycliffe did well to get back, and he, as you said, put on the afterburners, but he ran into a black wall, unfortunately.
There we see for the Heartland team, looks like jersey 16 Nicholas Barnes is on, replacing Jess Hall.
Just got to do the little things right, boys.
Well, you just heard that through our effects mic, I hope. Just do the little things right, fellas. And as far as the Heartland team is concerned, it's about scrummaging first. Never mind having the Rolls-Royce backline if you can't get them quality balls, so scrum first.
Opportunity here for Heartland. 5 metres out from the Tasman goal line. They trail, of course, by 5. There's a big Tasman scrum. Winter manages to release it. A lot of blue jerseys over the ball. Pick and go by Korotamani. Gets the offload to the new player, that's Barnes. Couple of metres from the line. Can they get the ball back, though?
Team moving.
And they get the
Calm.
scrum.
Hey. Jordan. 8.
A little bit of push and shove, a few handbags there, Willie.
Yeah, he took a bit of exception because one of the guys was using his back as a cleaner for his sprigs. And he got up.
They do that every week in the Heartland, don't they? Still use the ruck.
Exactly. Yeah, they don't have tackle bags in Heartland, so they
Just go over there.
tackle the shed. Have a look. This is where
Just take it
the
over there.
ball is
Time's
still
off
up
for
in the air.
Flick.
And there it is there, and then you'll see one of the players coming there. He just cleans his boots.
Josh.
Nothing wrong with a bit of feeling.
Okay, so
Look at that, everything on the line. What do you got, son? Got a bit of that. A bit cold here. Want to have a cuddle?
Okay. I need you to work with me as a team, okay? Yep. Thank you. Have a chat. You, mate.
Referee's just taking time to have a bit of a chat, but
Well, in my experience, you don't make a number 8 angry like that when there's a 5-metre scrum, because you know that there's one thing that he's going to do from the base of the scrum. If he can get a stable platform, is go straight at the first 5.
I love the pride, though, that these teams show, Willie, and that's what they're doing here, putting it all on the line. You can't fault that whatsoever. Tasman, though, under the pump.
Crouch.
The scrum this time a
Bind.
few metres closer into the post, so got a blindside, but they're all set to the right for the Heartland team. And here's Winter. Reti comes out to Anderson, and he's driven into touch.
The old lefto, 8-9, left-hand winger, Anderson could have either cut in and tried to stay in field, or even if he guessed it, Carlin stayed low.
Hold on. Just cleaning up.
Yeah, he didn't
Just get a
back
bit of
himself
blood.
whatsoever, did he? Well, he just stayed upright and conceded. He needs to either go low and back himself, or Reti has to go. He gave a nothing pass for mine.
Coming on now.
See, there's the 8-9. He has a little look. You either go yourself there, or a couple of changes here for Tasman also. 16. Charlie English is on in jersey 22. Also Mackenzie Hawke.
So Hodgson and Tunnicliffe depart.
Time's back on.
Some fresh legs for Tasman. Under the pump here. It's 5 metres from their line. They get the line out right. Oh, it's bouncing around, and finally Blackadder gets his hands on the ball.
Stay hold.
Neil at the back. Gets his kick into the sky, and up the touchline it goes. And a little bit of relief for Tasman.
Well, territory dominated here in the second half by Heartlands, but they haven't been able to build any pressure to put the points on. They've got themselves in positions in 5-metre scrums, but then there, 66%. And a lot of the game being played inside the Tasman 22.
So it's difficult in the conditions, but storming through the middle. Weir for Tasman. Neil, new stub. Harumukaru at a look. Picked up by Goro Tamani. And here's the centre for Heartland. Just the 6 or 7 metres out from the line. Spins out to the lock forward Cunningham. Ball's gone down, penalty given.
No advantage off his feet.
Well, they'll take the 3 points that are on offer here, close the deficit to 2. Good open side flanker play from Koroi Tamana. He's been good, this flying Fijian. He picks up the ball like it's a little bit of paper out in the street. And just a lovely pop pass over to his compatriot Fijian, Kuru Yambaki. And they made something of nothing.
Kuru Yambaki, he's had lots of touches today, hasn't he? And lovely skill. He's a hard man to put down too. Watch this. And they're really struggling to slow him down. Right over the advantage line he went. And it has presented the opportunity here for Shearer. He chips it up to the post as Bryce Shearer for the Heartland team, and that gap is reduced to just 2 points. Tasman 15, Heartland 13.
Well, they needed some reward, didn't they? The Heartland team, after being camped in the 22 of Tasman for a long time. But I'm with you, Willie, the 7 and 13 for the Heartland team really have fed off each other. They've been good today, those two.
Restart from Andrew Newstub. Goes through the hands, and Shearer eventually brought down to ground. Reti. Again, it's partially charged, but coming forward is Foden for the men in black. Shearer use that wind. Smart play from Shearer. Here's Tu'ua. And Schreiber scored the first try of the match. Hasn't seen much action since. Gets the pass off to Stevens. Through one tackle to Pu'ui Stevens. Gets the offload. But it's turned over, and it's in the hands of the Heartland side. Reti throws the pass. It was in the hands of Hoare. The penalty given.
And well, he was about 16 metres offside. That's why he went flying up to Mackenzie Hoare. But good play from Heartlands, in particular 9 and 10, now starting to control the game, using the conditions, pushing the ball down into the Tasman half and asking questions of them on attack. And I would have had a look at the posts from here. I don't think he'll have a problem with the distance, but they feel they've got momentum and we're going to the line-outs.
So Shearer is kicked pretty well today.
Substitutions, black 5.
And changes KT.
He looks like jersey 19. He's on for the Heartland team. Luke Watson replacing the right lock, Cunningham.
Oh, this has been a problem area for them. And you can see McLaughlin is down low because that's where they think it's going to go. That's where it should go, is short here.
And straight through. Coming through to collect it as Barnes. He's done well after missing his target. The replacement hooker. Here's the pick and go from Judd. 6 metres from the goal line. Reti. Kuroi Tamana. A bit of a handful today.
Stay.
Trent Reti. Here's Foden. So far the defence is up to it for Tasman. Shearer bringing in Turner from the back. The skipper. Right in front of the posts here. The Heartland team. Kuroi Tamana. Five metres from the goal line. Yes, this goes up to number 8, just a metre from the line was Winter. Picked up by Kuroi Tamana. Try time.
Well, he deserves it. Setariki Kuroi Tamana. He got involved on 3 or 4 occasions in that 6 phases. He's big, he's powerful, and that close to the line, you won't stop him.
Well, they went side to side for a number of phases, but until that number 8 picked it up there, Logan Winter got them going forward, and from there, they always were caught short on the left-hand side with Tasman, and well, the number 7, Kuroi Tamana, was sung his praises in the open. Well, he goes in the tight and does the tough stuff. And you're right, well, he's done a lot of yards, and he deserves that 5-pointer.
Setariki, Kuroi Tamana, and Shearer with the chance to put Heartland out by 5. It's a good strike. It's a wonderful kick from Bryce Shearer. And the Heartland team, they're on a roll here. They have a 5-point advantage. They have a big win behind them too.
Well, their coach told Carltonano at the break that they didn't poison them with a whole lot of ideas. They just wanted them to express themselves, to enjoy it. They were picked 10 days ago. They just came into camp yesterday. They would have been spent last night actually getting to know each other. And the performance in the second half has been nothing short of brilliant, using the conditions like professionals.
And the restart, wonderfully taken there by Foden. It's just starting to come into the game. Foden, Kuroi Tamana, Winter, the loose forwards for Heartland. And here's Shearer. Again decides we're playing the game down this end of the field, which is a smart move with the wind they've got. Schreiber, what can he cook up from the back for Tasman? The black wall of jerseys in front of him. Over the 10-metre line he goes. Kuroi Tamana went through.
No release, no clear release.
You can hear that. He made the tackle and he's got to release the player and the ball before he has another lick at it. And he just ripped it out. But yeah, good tactics again, though, from Shearer and co. I like the kick, I like the attitude, and I like the chase.
We can see the way that they're kicking there, Tasman. They're only 10 metres from the left-hand touch, but they go the right under on the far side of the field, just showing the strength of their breeze. And that was a relieving penalty and a much-needed one for Tasman, wasn't it? Another change for the Heartland team too. Daryl Pickering is on in jersey 21, replacing the left winger, Anderson.
So Tasman with a rare foray into the Heartland territory. And they don't get the line out right. And Foden and Kuroi Tamana, he lets rip with the kick. Maybe too big. And he drifts as it drifted into touch just in the corner.
Hold on, the assistant referee's going to... They looked at each other, they spoke about it, and now they're going to come all the way back.
Look for all money like he just booted it way too far, and then just some confusion. But Koroi Tamana,
Beyond the flag.
kick not doesn't work on this advantage, so we'll go back for the scrum inside Heartland territory. And KT, that was an example of ever we needed one of the breeze that's been picking up in the second half.
Oh, well, no doubt, Tom. You can see the derivative, though, right across from jersey 1 to 15 in this Heartland team. Don't play it in your own quarter, just get it downtown. On that occasion, not coming off for Koroi Tamana, but Tasman, they need something special here. They've already had one great set-piece try. They need something similar now.
And Fletcher Matthews needs to get his hands on the ball. He's the go-to guy for this Tasman side. New stubs, well, there's Schreiber, there's
Both teams
Matthews.
unsteady then. We're going to reset.
And give some space to Stevens, because I reckon he's a greyhound. Love to see him with a bit of space.
We're holding the weight.
The left winger for Tasman. He looks like an athlete, KT.
Yeah, saw him in college rugby last season or the year before. It's very, very good, big unit too.
Crouch.
And as you said, Willie, you've already highlighted it. They need to get the set piece right. They need a platform. They've been under pressure so far, Tasman.
Scrum off the back comes to Ua. Gets a pass off to his flanker, Kerman. Neil charging up as McLaughlin for Tasman, shy of the 22-metre line. Neil goes in again, gets the pass back to Siaki. Picked up again by Tu'ua, trying to get his hands on the ball a bit more as the big number 8. They come to the left, and McLaughlin gets another touch. Big prop forward, over the 22-metre line go Tasman. This time from distance comes Blackadder. Over the top was Winter. They stick to the right-hand side. Schreiber, the try scorer in the first half. There's plenty of defenders there for Heartland. Not many Tasman numbers, and walking straight over the top of it. And a lovely little chip down the touchline from Reti. And they make good of the turnover to Heartland.
6 phases, they went lateral. And then it was the counter ruck from Heartlands. They kept their body weight, they drove over the ball. Good little kick down the blind side there from Reti as well.
They can smell it, can't they, Willie? This Heartland team. Watch them here on defence. 1, 2, 3, in fact, before the first Tasman support player even gets in, they pile even more numbers in and just flood that breakdown. That's great work. This kick needed to go a lot longer.
Thanks, guys. Water's off, please.
That's one issue I've had from the Heartland team is probably Trent Reti. Some of his kicking has been, well, aimless at times. He needs to just look up, maybe kick along or listen to his outsides.
13 minutes out from full time. It's Heartland with the advantage. Tasman with the line out, just inside opposition half. Over the top, it's Koroi Tamana. Just scored a try a few minutes in, gets the lovely pass out to Shearer. Here's Costello. Playing with a lot of confidence, the Heartland team. Reti, long pass to the replacement Barnes. Here's the hooker Barnes. Shrubs off one tackle. It's the pass back to Judd. The big boys doing the work out wide for Heartland. Reti. This time's left behind by Peterson. And a shame for Heartland.
I didn't get a call. We're playing the knock-on.
Getting their big guys involved. Seems everyone's eager to get a touch, isn't it, Willie? Even the big guys, the backs aren't really having to do a lot of the work at the moment.
Well, this is the guy that's really been the main feature. That lovely little Sonny Bill Williams special out the back. And then Costello gets involved in it as well. We know how good he is on defence. And they're on attack. And then the big boppers come to work. Barnes, he's rolled his sleeves up since he's been on the field. And all the fat popos getting involved as well. And their hands on the ball, the concrete mixers. And that's where it all went a little bit astray.
Water's off. Water's off, please. Water's off, please. Water's off.
Looks like Adam Williamson is coming back on for the Heartland team.
There it is.
Nicholas Judd looks like he's got a bit of a complaint there with the leg.
Okay.
Job for the magic water.
Yeah, exactly. Magic H2O, mate. He'll be running around no time.
Meantime, Tasman back inside their own 22-metre line. Under pressure. Neil spits it out, and Newstub has to take it to the line. Met by Costello and Korotamani. They're holding him up, trying to get him to ground. Burrowing in is Neil. The kick downfield is taken by Mackenzie Hoare, the replacement outside back for Heartland. Over halfway he goes, runs into the tackle of Pickering. Kurui Tamana. Has it back nicely for Reti. There he is again, back on the park, Williamson. Reti, Shearer, Costello. Reti holds it up, gets the pass off to Brett. Looking good ground here, Heartland, but competing at the breakdown penalty. And this could be an opportunity for Heartland to push that gap beyond 7 points, approaching the final 10 minutes.
And Josh Turner just walked up and pointed to the post straight away.
Yeah, he was staying there, disrupted.
So disrupting is the call from the official, not rolling away.
No, I've said it.
And this is lovely play from Heartland.
I've got around 10 to go.
What we saw in the first half was punch and counter punch. Every time Heartland scored, Tasman would come back and score straight away.
10.5
We haven't seen that in the second half. They were a lot more clinical, they were a lot more accurate, and there just seems to be a lot more desire from the men in the black shirts.
The eagerness and enthusiasm to get on with it, knowing they're behind on the scoreboard, creates the error. And so it gifts the scrum to Heartland. Be having a look and an opportunity.
Can you give me a reason why I can't award the try? Thank you.
Troy scored. Brilliant stuff. Korotamani scored by this might just do it for Heartland.
And I'll tell you what, at Carter's, they're in the King Country. They'll be delighted. There's their boy, the apprentice plumber. All of the hard work from Kuroi Tamana, who moved into the boot of the scrum. It rolled left and he went with it, and then he just ran. And he just kept running, and everyone hung off him. And then that lovely little offload. Josh Turner still had a lot of work to do, reached out. Great response.
Yeah, you're right, Willie. This is where he really has excelled, hasn't he? Look at the strength of the man and the speeds, that's the thing, but good body work there. I think it was a try all day long. It was a good call by the assistant referee. And well done there, Josh Turner. His double.
The Shearer to try and add the extras. It's a wobbly, wild one in the breeze. And a nice smile from Bryce Shearer. Wonderful stuff from the Heartland open side flanker, Setariki Kurui Tamana. And finished by that man there, the captain, Josh Turner. And it's all to do for Tasman now. 10 points adrift.
Great rugby like the Great Lakes down here in Taupo.
Wonderful, Willie Lose. So, the restart in Tasman. Well, they need to get their hands on the ball, and that's the first thing they've done. And it's knocked forward, though. And you can hear the applause. That's all coming from the Heartland team.
Sorry,
Yeah, well, I really like what Heartlands have done. They obviously went to the break and thought, even though we trail by 5, we can maybe turn this around, and that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah. Crouch. Bind. Holding.
So the mistake, and Heartland heading towards
I couldn't hear you.
semi-final against Southland.
Sorry, I'm making you one.
Unless Tasman can come up with something special in the last 10 minutes. I've used the wind well in this second half, have the Heartland team. It's been the key, playing the game in the right end of the field.
Crouch.
Down.
Bind.
Holding.
Sit.
Hold it.
So Leti leads the scrum. There's Winter trying to get rid of his opposite. To Ua. Leti back to Shearer. Coming forward to collect it was Hoare. And here's Steen Schreiber. Falls into hands of Reti. Here's Turner, try scorer from a few moments ago. Gets this pass off. Lots of blue jerseys. Raru Mukaru over the top there, and he's earned the penalty. Blackadder, off they go. Common. It's Miller. Coming from distance is McLaughlin. Just inside the 22-metre line, Tasman. Another penalty.
Whoa. I called hands away. Over here. Over here.
Taken quickly, and off goes Siaki for Tasman. Miller. Coming back is English. Miller, they plugged that blindside. Here's McLaughlin. 5 metres from the line, rolling his way towards it is Dan McLaughlin.
He's okay.
But it's a turnover. Heartland back to Turner. And he hasn't found touch. And here's Hoare, Mackenzie Hoare. And he cooks something up from the back. Gets around one tackle. Steps does the jersey 22, Mackenzie Hoare. Still going. Sam levers it, giving plenty in the final few minutes. Tasman, they're not out of it. They don't think they're out of it. Miller, new stuff. In the back line is the lock forward Weir. Almost gets out of the tackle, does Cody Weir. 7 metres from the line. Miller, back they come. Blackadder. Picked up by Siaki. 3 metres from the line. To Ua. Heartland being asked to make some tackles here. Big pass. And it bounces over the top. And just bouncing around, and it's picked up finally by Schreiber. Here's Fletcher Matthews. They've gone back 20 metres here, Tasman, but they still have the ball. New Stubb flying at him was Costello. Gets the pass around the back. Does New Stubb to Lieberzet. Miller. Again, it's picked up by Hoare. Hand was knocked down. Advantage being played for Tasman. Back on the 22 midline. Is picked up by Te'ua. Reset again. Miller. Here's Raru Mukaru. Good strong run from the second 5'8". Picked up by Matthews. Matthews to the line, just a metre short. Ball lost forward.
And he's lost it forward, unfortunately. They're going to take a time off, but you needed something from Captain Fantastic. And he tried to pull out the miracle, did Fletcher Matthews. I think he's lost it forward just as he went to propel. Listen in.
Shot in then. I didn't hear what you said back here.
There was a deliberate knockdown by number 21.
A deliberate knockdown?
Yeah, so
okay.
Just a couple of metres in from the 22.
Okay, thank you.
Well, they'll come back for the penalty. Try, obviously, is not going to be awarded.
My comms gear didn't go through, but we're going back here for a deliberate knockdown against 21, okay? We're going back here.
And Carl, one of our Sky Sport commentators has just tweeted through a message for you. You know how he uses the soul of New Zealand rugby and also the future stars of tomorrow today. The Jock Holmes Memorial Tournament introducing the new generation.
A foul on the Ken Laban with some more gold.
Gets here, waits.
So the restart, and off goes Siaki for Tasman. They need to find something quickly. Time is against them. A turnover by Winter for Heartland. Competing at the breakdown though, Tasman, have they walked over the top of this one? They have. Lieberzet. Comes back for New Stubb. Raru Mukaru gets out of one tackle. They come left again. Tasman juggling out on the back line was Coleman, and the ball lost forward, and Heartland bought another movement, banged into touch by Retu, albeit backwards. And there it is, the referee blows full time, and Heartland hold on. They've only been together a matter of days, but a wonderful second half performance from the Heartland team. They beat Tasman 25-15 and booked themselves a spot in the semi-finals against Southland. Wonderful performance from Heartland, Willie Losay.
Terrific second half from Heartland's 15 points, 0 to Tasman in that second half, and that was built around intelligent play from these young men. They used the conditions, they kicked into the right field, their line speed, their defensive work was outstanding, and they took the opportunities when they presented themselves. Koroi Tamana and also Turner scoring those second half tries, and that was the difference.
15-10, Tasman led at half-time. But Heartland had that second half win with them, and they used it brilliantly. It'll be disappointment for Tasman, who of course will get to play some more matches this week, but in terms of the semi-finals of the championship and their chances of lifting the Michael Jones Cup. And let's go downstairs with KT. I think about the captain of the victorious Heartland team, Josh Turner.
Yeah, Josh, firstly, congratulations on the win, mate. It was a tough one.
Yeah, definitely a hard game out there. We were underestimated coming into this comp only having 2 days training, but the boys really dug deep and got the win out of the day. So, great game.
Yeah, how was it like with the preparation so short? And I mean, yesterday you probably had your first run. You're probably still learning names.
Yeah, well, on the first day it was kind of hard training to give it, but we had 2 solid trainings and then 2 solid trainings on today, so it was good, real good.
That second half, though, you looked a lot more settled and you stuck to your game plan and got the ball down there and you got the rewards.
Yeah, the boys started to show them believing in themselves and showing that this team's this team is ready to go, so it's good.
You can see here the attitude. And what point did you think you actually had this game nailed?
I think when Bryce made a nice kick out front, put us 3, evened it up, it was good to go.
Right, well, Southland next. What do you reckon?
Oh, easy win, eh?
Good luck, brother.
Thanks heaps for that. Thanks, Sky. Oh, thanks heaps to Adidas as well for the perks.
Thanks, mate.
Turner enjoying the spill. So I think KT's got the skipper of the Tasman side down there as well, Fletcher Matthews.
Fletcher, mate, what happened?
Oh, I guess we had a good start to the game. We're up 15-10 at half-time. I guess the win was a big factor in that game. We had it with us in the first half and managed to get some points on the board, but coming into the second half, they really sort of camped down in our 22 and we sort of struggled to get out, tried to change a few things. Then towards the end, we started making a few inroads, but they just were on top of us in the second half. So, yeah.
Great set piece, though, they tried in the first half, but in the second half, you know, the ball's not all running away from you, especially in the backs. Did you notice it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in that first half, we managed to get some clean ball off the back of the scrum and scored that first try, just managed to split them apart. So we just didn't get that set off the set phase. We didn't get that in the second half, and I think that's a big work on for us going to the next game, just to carry that out through the game. So, yeah.
A tough loss, but I'm sure you'll get better, and good luck for the next one, eh?
Yeah, thank you very much. Cheers, guys. And, yeah, just shout out to the people at home. Thanks for watching, and, yeah, cheers. Cheers, mate.
So Fletcher Matthews, the disappointed Tasman skipper, his team going down 25-15 today, and Heartland through to the semi-finals where they'll play Southland. And players waiting, the crowd waiting for the next match. But let's have a look at some highlights from this match we've just witnessed. And it was a wonderful start to the match for Tasman. Look at this wonderful try, inside out, and away goes Matthews, the man we've just seen, summed up the situation perfectly, and drew Schreiber to score.
And New Zealand Bars and Sevens representative just drifted, got on the outside of Kuruyambaki, and then he just ran his fullback in beautifully.
That put Tasman in front, but it didn't take long for the Heartland team through this man. Koroi Tamana combined wonderfully well down the flank with Foden, and a very clever pass back on the inside to the scrum half, Trinretu, the try.
Not easy there to break the tackle of Blackadder, and then the lovely pop pass. Foden did very well to draw in the last defender, the try scorer Schreiber, and running Fat Man's alley was Trent Letty. He brought it around to improve the position.
Matthews had shown his class all day, and here, a lot of black jerseys, but strength and speed from Fletcher Matthews got it done here.
Well, he looked up and saw the men with the little numbers on their back, and he just went through them like a hot knife through butter.
Well, the Heartland team did a wonderful job in the second half of playing the game at the right end of the field. can see here, their heavies, once they got close to the line, very close went Winter, and then Kuro Tamana deserved the try and got it.
He started it. There you can see him on the ground, and he quickly gets to his feet after another beautiful run from Winter. Picked it up, and too strong for Stevens. And all of a sudden, Heartland were ahead.
And playing the game at the right end of the field, they were. And Kuro Tamana, he featured in all of these tries, and here he is again, running with ball in one hand, flips it off to the skipper Turner, and Josh Turner finishes it.
And they hung off him. You've got to make the tackles. You've got to be aggressive here inside your own 22. They waited, and the lovely little offload. And he didn't need too many other invitations, Josh Turner. And that was game, set, and match.
The Heartland team holding on to win this one, 25 points to 15. Retu, Kuro Tamana and Turner for Heartland. Shearer, just the one miss today, and Tasman, their 15 points. Schreiber and Matthews tries in that first half. Newstub did well with the boot, but in the end, 15 unanswered points in the second half was the difference. Heartland getting it done by 10.
Well, the stats started to even up, and as you see there, the handling areas were pretty even as well, but minutes in opposition, 22. They only enjoyed 3 in the first half, did Heartlands. They enjoyed 7 in the second, and that was the difference, is that they played the game with the conditions in the right area of the field.
So 25 points to 15. I think KT's got a very famous...